When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Oh my god, could I be any more excited for this quiz? Hey, how you doing? Okay, no more accents for me, I promise, no more New York accents. Hello and welcome everyone to the long-awaited, long-requested Big Nerd Friends quiz. I'm your host for this evening, Mark Hughes, and tonight we're going to be talking all things Joey, Ross, Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, and Chandler. So, over 25 years ago, the world was introduced to 6 lovable New Yorkers struggling through their everyday lives, their jobs, their love triangles, and TV would never be the same again. They would change the way we speak, they would introduce new words to our everyday lives and the way we dressed, Rachel's hair, and they left us all considering how they could all live in massive New York apartments without doing very much work. Tonight, there will be 8 rounds of questions, including an entire round on the sitcom spin-off Joey and the post-Friends acting career of Matthew Perry. Only kidding. It's just all going to be about the show. If you've played before, you know what to do. If not, get ready. Here's how you play the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Or Friends Quiz. Alright, so welcome to the Big Nerd Friends Quiz. You can play 2 ways. There's the good old-fashioned way with pen on paper, or you can use the Google form in the link of the YouTube description below. You can play as a team or individually. It's totally up to yourself. Open the Google link, enter your email address, and just answer the multiple choice questions as they are asked. There's 4 options per question. There's 8 rounds with 6 questions each, and there's only 1 correct answer per question. Once the quiz is finished, simply hit submit and you'll get your scores at the end, but stick about to see the answers at the very, very end of the quiz. It's recommended that you stream the quiz on a laptop or television and play using the Google form on a phone or mobile device. Good luck and have some fun. So, get in touch with Big Nerd Pub Quiz throughout the night. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And if you want a shout out at any point, let me know. We've got tons and tons of birthdays and hellos to get through tonight. So yes, if I don't get to you tonight, I'll try my very best. But yes, best way to do it is to get in touch via the Facebook instant messenger. I'll definitely be able to get you there. And share your pics of you playing the Big Nerd Pub Quiz on all your social media channels. Share it on Instagram. Use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. Love seeing you where you are playing as well. It's all cool. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And share the YouTube channel to your friends if you think it's any good. Yes, Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Yeah, hit and like the subscribe button and the little bell button for more updates on any quizzes coming up in the future. You can replay any of the quizzes at any time. We've got the Star Wars quiz, the football one, the Disney one, Harry Potter, Star Trek, whatever your fandom, we've got it covered. And every Saturday night, we've got the general knowledge quiz at 8 p.m. Kids quiz every Tuesday at 2. And this Wednesday, we've got the Big Nerd Music Quiz. That's on at 8 p.m. this Wednesday. It's for all music fans. If you're a hardcore music fan, you're going to totally love this quiz. Me and my mate Decky sat and came up with the round system for it last night. It's looking pretty good. And there's your lineup for the rest of the month. We got this time next week, we'll be doing the Simpsons quiz. Hello to my buddy Ryan, who's helping me write that one. Big Nerd Movie Quiz as well on next Wednesday. James Bond, Big Nerd 2000s quiz, horror quiz. And also coming up, we've got the Big Nerd Pokemon quiz and a wrestling quiz. And speaking of which, somebody's actually mentioned and actually sent in a Lord of the Rings quiz. They've actually written it. I didn't even ask, they just came up and wrote it. So yes, we're definitely doing a Lord of the Rings quiz at some point. Don't forget, you can pick up Big Nerd Pub Quiz merch from Northern Iron Tees. Check out their website for some class funny t-shirts from them. And don't forget, you can also support the quiz. If you like what we're doing, it's always free to play. But you can support the work that goes into making the quiz by donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or become a Patreon. Massive thank you to everyone out there who's been supporting the quiz over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, these are the t-shirts, pretty nifty. I decided to wear my New York Mets jersey tonight because, you know, I don't have any Friends memorabilia apart from this, which is a Friends, I think this is my sister's from like about 20 odd years ago. And yes, this is the making of the Friends episode when they go to the UK, and it's basically the script and kind of loads of behind the scene tidbits about them making that there. But yes, I suspect most of the Friends gang were probably Yankees fans. I think Ross was definitely a Yankees fan. But yes, if anyone can clarify if they know which baseball team, it's not an official question, but if they know which baseball team the Friends guys followed, by all means let me know. Okay, so here we go. If you've got your Google form ready, here's how you play. We're going to kick off right now. So here we go. Round 1 is the general knowledge one. So yes, round 1, the general knowledge quiz. So yes, the first 6 questions just to ease you into the quiz and get you started off. All about Friends. Very, very basic. And before we begin, massive thank you to Neil and Steph for co-writing tonight's Big Nerd Friends quiz. Couldn't have done this without them. Massive, massive thank yous. These guys are hardcore Friends fans, and they've made a quiz which is really fun to play, and I hope you guys all enjoy it as well. So here we go. Round 1, question 1 of Big Nerd Friends quiz. It's just going 6 minutes past 8 by my watch. So here we go. Round 1, question 1, and it's a very interesting behind the scenes bit of knowledge here. So round 1, question 1. Who was the only friend to direct an episode? So out of all 6 of them, which was the only member of the Friends cast to actually direct an episode of the series? Interesting, that one. Okay, a little bit of a tricky one to start off with, but yeah, they've gone on to do a bit more directing. In fact, give you a clue, they directed the movie Run, Fat Boy, Run with Simon Pegg. It's the one where he's tries to run the marathon. Remember that one? So that's round 1, question 1. Start you off tonight. That's the Big Nerd Friends quiz. We're starting off. So round 1, question 2. So who spoke the very first line in the pilot episode? So who spoke the first line in pilot, the very, very first Friends episode? You might have asked this question in the Big Nerd 90s quiz that we did a couple of weeks ago. Thought we'd throw it back in there. See if you guys were paying attention. But round 1, question 2. Who spoke the very first line in Friends? Alright, so round 1, question number 3. Whose shower did Joey use when he showed up on a film set smelling very, very bad after a fishing trip? And if I recall from the episode, he really annoys that particular legendary actor. Round 1, question 3. Whose shower did Joey use when he showed up on film set smelling very, very bad after a fishing trip? Round 1, question 3. Don't worry if you think I'm going too fast. We always recap every question at the very end of every round. So round 1, question 4. Who spoke the very last line in the episode The Last One, Part 2? So the very final episode of the series after 10 years. God, I remember watching this. I actually was studying for my A-levels at the time, and I remember I had an exam the next day, but I actually took an hour out of my time to go downstairs and watch the final episode. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was, I guess. Yeah, I passed it. I got an A. So yeah. So round 1, question 4. Who spoke the very last line in the very last episode? So round 1, question 5. Which of these is not one of Phoebe's songs? So 4 options there. Which one of those is not one of Phoebe's songs? Ode to Pubic Hair, Pervert Parade, Smelly Cat, Colors of Your Underwear. So round 1, question 5. Which of these is not one of Phoebe's songs? Ode to Pubic Hair, Pervert Parade, Smelly Cat, Colors of Your Underwear. Yes, I have turned the music down, Tom. Thanks for letting me know. I've just kind of noticed my levels there. So round 1, question 5. And your final general knowledge question of the night. Round 1, question number 6. Before it was a cafe, what did the Central Perk used to be? Okay, so I think it's seen in a flashback episode, but round 1, question 6. What was Central Perk before it became a cafe? Interesting little tidbit. They kind of explained why the Friends cast always get a seat, and apparently it's because there's a little reserved sign sitting on the table. Who would have thought? But round 1, question 6. What was Central Perk before it became a cafe? And like I said before, we round up every question, so there's your general knowledge roundup for round number 1. So round 1, question 1. Who was the only friend to direct an episode? 2. Who spoke the first line in the pilot episode, the very first Friends episode? 3. Whose shower did Joey use when he showed up to a film set smelling very bad after a fishing trip? 4. Who spoke the very last line in The Last One, Part 2? 5. Which of these is not one of Phoebe's songs? Bring those back up again. Ode to Her Pubic Hair, Pervert Parade, Smelly Cat, or Colors of Your Underwear? And before it was a cafe, what did the Central Perk used to be? Alright, so yes, that's your first round. Yes, like I said before, keep in touch using all the different social media channels. Like and subscribe to the Twitter, the Instagram, and to the Facebook, like I said. And the best way to get a shout out at any point in the night is to DM me on the Facebook, and I'll try my very, very best to get you a shout out at some point. We've got tons to get through later on this evening, but we're not going to waste any more time and move straight on to round 2. And it's the one with all the holidays. Yes, some of the most iconic episodes of Friends all take place around Hanukkah or Thanksgiving or Christmas. So 6 questions all about those particular episodes. So here we go, round 2, question number 1. And it's a Christmas one. Round 2, question 1. In the one with Phoebe's dad, what do Joey and Chandler get Phoebe for Christmas? So round 2, question 1. In the episode, the one with Phoebe's dad, what do Joey and Chandler get Phoebe for Christmas? Round 2, question 2. Which 2 recipes did Rachel mix up while making a traditional dessert for Thanksgiving? Yes, Rachel, not known for her culinary skills. Round 2, question 2. So which 2 recipes did Rachel mix up while making a traditional dessert for Thanksgiving? Third question of round 2. What is the name of the creature that Ross makes up for his son Ben? He made it up in an effort to show him about the holiday of Hanukkah. I actually celebrated Hanukkah this year or previous year there, and yeah, very, very disappointed to find out that there was no particular versions of this creature knocking about. And I asked a few people, and they were like, "No, we don't do that." Okay, but there was a lot of fried food, eat a lot of donuts, candle lighting, some prayers. It was really cool. But I'm looking for the name of the creature that Ross makes up for his son to teach him all about Hanukkah. So that's round 2, question 3. Round 2, question number 4. What part of Chandler's body did Monica accidentally cut whilst attending her parents' Thanksgiving in 1988? So round 2, question number 4. What part of Chandler's body did Monica accidentally cut whilst attending her parents' Thanksgiving in 1988? I believe it was a dodgy item of clothing that might have caused or helped the incident. Round 2, question 4. Going on to round 2, question 5. In Phoebe's Christmas song, which word does she rhyme with Joey? So yes, throw your mind back to that particular Christmas song. What word does Phoebe rhyme with Joey in her Christmas song? Round 2, question 5. And your final holiday question here, round 2, question number 6. In the one with all the Thanksgivings, what do we see Joey getting his head stuck in an effort to scare Chandler? It's quite iconic, this. I'm sure you'll all get this one. But round 2, question 6. In the one with all the Thanksgivings, what do we see Joey getting stuck on his head in an effort to scare Chandler? I think Monica gets it on her head at one point as well. And there's a roundup. Round 2 questions there, the Thanksgiving holidays ones. So quick recap of those. So number 1, in the one with Phoebe's dad, what do Joey and Chandler get Phoebe for Christmas? Number 2, which 2 recipes did Rachel mix up whilst making a traditional dessert for Thanksgiving? 3, what creature did Ross make up for his son Ben to highlight the importance of Hanukkah? Number 4, what part of Chandler's body did Monica accidentally cut whilst attending her parents' Thanksgiving in 1988? 5, in Phoebe's Christmas song, what word does she rhyme with Joey? And finally, in the one with all the Thanksgivings, what do we see Joey get stuck on his head in an effort to scare Chandler? Okay, I hope you're all enjoying the quiz. Like I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more really cool quizzes coming up. And like I said, all for you music heads, we've got the Big Nerd Music Quiz coming up. Yes, and just in case you're wondering, yeah, that took like a couple of hours to make, and there must be at least 100 layers of different musicians and stuff there. But yes, don't forget to tune in to that later on in the week. Okay, so just quick couple of shout outs before we move on in tonight's quiz. Neil Henry texted me earlier on in the week, and he says, can you do a shout out to Charlotte in Gartcosh in Scotland, I think that is. So yes, I forgot, sorry I didn't get to do a shout out on Saturday for you, but yes, hello to Charlotte. You know who you are. Charlize Davidson, she wants a shout out to Mum Liz and Dad Carl. Anya's playing in Belfast, a big shout out to her. Happy birthday to Hannah, she's 30, and that's from her hubby Alistair. And a big hello to the Craigs playing down in where is that? Killinchie, County Down, to their daughter Melissa, and who's a super Friends fan. Well, good to hear from you guys. Well, we'll try to get more shout outs throughout the live stream. Moving on to round 3 tonight. And it's all going to be about the one with the relatives. Sure, what would friends be without seeing their mums and dads and aunties and uncles? But yes, this next 6 questions are all about the friends, relatives. So here we go, round 3, question number 1. So Kathleen Turner played Chandler's father, Helena Handbasket. What was her name when Chandler was born? I absolutely love Kathleen Turner's voice. Okay, I said no more accents. I won't do any more accents. But yes, Kathleen Turner, one of my favorite actors is. But Kathleen Turner, fantastic role there. But yes, played Chandler's father, Helena Handbasket. But what was her name when Chandler was born? That's round 3, question number 1. Round 3, question 2. Who was Ross's son Ben named after? It is mentioned. But who was Ross's son Ben named after? Round 3, question 2. Remember, if you don't know it, there's 4 options there. You can always take a stab. But I'm sure we've seen Friends so many times. It's bound to have absorbed its way in there somehow. Round 3, question 3. Which of Monica and Ross's cousins did not want Monica to attend her wedding, as she had apparently been involved with the groom? So that's round 3, question 3. So which of Monica and Ross's cousins did not want Monica to attend her wedding, as she apparently had been involved with the groom? It's round 3, question 3. Round 3, question number 4. Monica attempted to give a toast at her parents' wedding anniversary celebration, but how many years of marriage were they celebrating in that particular episode? That's round 3, question number 4. So yes, Monica attempted to give it a toast at her parents' wedding anniversary celebrations, but how many years of marriage were they celebrating? Elliot Gould played the dad. Who played the mum? Someone let me know who played the mum, because I would look it up. But yeah, she was another very famous actress. But I still love seeing Elliot Gould in that. He's one of those great character actors from the 70s. Like but anyway, round 3, question number 4. Moving on to round 3, question 5. What's Chandler's middle name? So we're looking for Chandler's middle name. Was this the one did this come up in the quiz episode? I don't know. I don't think it is. Well, stay tuned. You might find out later on. But round 3, question 5. So what is Chandler's middle name? Okay, so round 3, question 5. And final one. Yes, Joey's massive family. Round 3, question 6. So which of Joey's sisters punched Chandler in the face? So yes, that famous episode where Chandler hooks up with one of Joey's sisters and can't remember which one it was. But which one of Joey's sisters punched Chandler in the face? It's round 3, question 6. And quick round up of the relatives round. So Kathleen Turner played Chandler's father, Helena Handbasket. What was her name when Chandler was born? Number 2, who was Ross's son Ben named after? I didn't repeat that one before, but who was Ross's son Ben named after? Number 3, which of Monica and Ross's cousins did not want Monica to attend her wedding, as she apparently had been involved with the groom? Number 4, Monica attempted to give a toast to her parents' wedding anniversary celebration, but how many years of marriage were they celebrating? 5, what is Chandler's middle name? And 6, which of Joey's sisters punched Chandler in the face? Okay, so that's that one all wrapped up. So yes, moving on to the very next round of the Big Nerd Friends quiz. Don't forget, there's more quizzes coming up, like I said, in the week. But if you have any suggestions for any particular types of quizzes, by all means, let me know. Well, like I said, we get suggestions all the time. So yes, stay in touch via all the different social media channels. Drop me a line, let me know. And yes, if you want a shout out, we'll definitely try to get a shout out to you at some point throughout the night. Okay, moving on to the next round. And like I said before, friends changed the way we spoke, and it really did. Like this is the one with all the quotes. So yeah, very, very simple round. 6 quotes, 6 very, very famous Friends quotes. All you have to do is match them to the character. Couldn't be easier. And yes, if you've dropped points throughout the round, you're definitely going to pick up some throughout this. But like I said before, Friends, in a weird way, it's permeated popular culture so much that yes, it changed the way people speak, and the certain inflections, and yes, encouraged a lot of girls from South Dublin to speak with American accents, that's for sure. But anyway, so here we go, round 4, question 1, and you should definitely get this one straight off the bat. Round 4, question 1, how you doing? And I'm not doing the accent, I'm just going to say it in my normal accent. I'm going to say it normally. So round 4, question 1, how you doing? Doesn't really sound as well when you say it in the South Down accent. Anyway, round 4, question 2. We will go over these again, don't worry. So round 4, question 2, pivot. So round 4, if you can picture the scene, you'll know which one we're talking about. Yep, there's a couch involved, and they're trying to move it upstairs. But round 4, question 2, pivot. Who said that? Round 4, question number 3. He's her lobster. So round 4, question 3. He's her lobster. Again, I can't give any clues because it's really obvious who these ones are. Like if you've watched the show as many times as I have anyway. But round 4, question 3. He's her lobster. Round 4, question 4. 7. And it probably makes more sense if you repeat that over and over again. 7, 7, 7, 7. So one character says that quite a lot in one particular scene, very famous scene. Round 4, question 4, 7. You'll know what I'm talking about. Round 4, question 5. We were on a break. Again, it's clear as day, this one. Like round 4, question 5. We were on a break. Should be fairly obvious, that one. And finally, round 4, question 6. They don't know that we know they know we know. So that's round 4, question 6. That's the final one. So they don't know that we know they know we know. And I think we all know which one was that about. Yes, it was certain characters hooking up and not knowing that the other people knew that they didn't. Anyway, so that's round 4, question 6. Quick roundup there of the quotes. Pretty easy round. I think even if you're a moderate Friends fan, you should have picked up points in this one. But round 4, we'll go through them one more time. How you doing? Pivot. He's our lobster. 7. We were on a break. And they don't know what. We don't know that we know they know we know. There you go. That's your round 4 roundup. Gosh, we're really flying through tonight's quiz. Very quick. Normally, we're roughly about halfway throughout the quiz, but it's actually only 25 past 8. But yes, the quiz generally lasts an hour. It'll bring us up to about 9 o'clock, and we're halfway through the quiz. Like I said before, don't forget you can get in touch via all the different social media channels, and if you want to donate to the quiz itself, if you like what we're doing here and you want to donate and keep the quiz going, you can support by donating and becoming a Patreon. And if everyone who's playing can just chip in £1, it makes all of this so much worthwhile. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of this, my effort and time goes into making this, and all my friends as well. So anyway, so keep the shout outs coming in, and we'll get a mention to you at some point throughout the night. A couple of other wee plugs to do at this halfway point in the show. Check out some of these podcasts out there. This is Stuck in Here With You. This is 2 of my friends who are in lockdown in London, Jez and Mary. They're on episode like 78 or 79 now. They've been doing this since the lockdown began sometime in like middle March. And they haven't let up. They're continuing to keep the podcast going. It's on Spotify and Podbean and Apple Podcasts. And yes, in a couple of episodes, they actually play the quiz. So it's quite meta if you're actually watching the quiz. Also check out Hot Topic Nightmare. It's actually written by my buddy Paul, who I know is texting, and he's listening in tonight. Hot Topic Nightmare is on mixcloud.com, and it's all about basically people doing like kind of book reports on random topics that they don't know much about. So do check that out. It's a lot of fun. Also check out Banterflex on NVTV in Belfast. I know for a fact they're watching tonight, so big hello to them. And they're going to be helping me out with the movie quiz next week. They helped me out with the Disney quiz a few weeks ago, and it was a huge success. So big hello to those guys. And the guys at Fright Club. Check out their Twitter feed. They're at the Fright Club NI. They're helping me write the horror quiz. In fact, I think they've actually already written it. So it's already in the pipe and ready to go. Also, check out my breakfast show on Zest FM. It's on live every weekday at 8 a.m. and there's tons of other great shows on it. Zest FM is an internet radio station with loads of cool 80s hits, and I do the breakfast show every morning from 8 o'clock to 10, so do check that out. If you like your 80s music and you want to hear some requests, by all means, drop me a line. Also check out the Nerd Party. Tons of, like, whatever your fandom is, they've got it covered there, so check out the Nerd Party. It's a project my mate Lee's involved with, but yes, if you're into Star Trek, Babylon 5 and all the other stuff, do check out those podcasts as well. And don't forget, you can buy it's a possible new sponsorship coming up with new Lockdown Pale Ale, and that's from Northern Brew Company. Those guys have been awesome, and they've sent me out a pack of that stuff. It's fantastic, really, really tasty IPA. And don't forget, you can buy Big Nerd Pub Quiz merchandise from Northern Teas as well. Anyway, won't waste any more time. We're going to fire on with the quiz. Like I said, it was kind of just dragging a little bit more time, so it'll bring us up to 9 o'clock. And here's the t-shirt. It's really good quality. Anyway, firing straight on, going on to round number 5. And tonight's round 5 is all about the one with relationships. Yes, and some of the most famous love triangles on television happened within the show. It was one of the biggest will they, won't they type of programs out there. It was, like I said, it became more of a sitcom or soap opera than a sitcom at times. But anyway, here we go. Round 5, question number 1. So who was Monica's date to Barry and Mindy's wedding? It's round 5, question number 1. So, who was Monica's date to Barry and Mindy's wedding? God awful pink frocks. Yes, so that's round 5, question number 1. Who was Monica's date to Barry and Mindy's wedding? Round 5, question number 2. Ross and Rachel broke up after Ross slept with the girl from the copy place. But what was her name? So yes, it was one of those things, like, one tiny thing, and it completely like dominated like the whole like story of the next couple of seasons. But who was the name of the girl that Ross slept with that caused Ross and Rachel to break up? Oh no, they were on a break, right? Well, you know. So anyway, round 5, question 2. So Ross and Rachel broke up after Ross slept with the girl from the copy place. But what was her name? Round 5, question 3. So how old was Tag when Rachel broke up with him? Yes, this was a little office affair that Rachel had with a chap who was a couple of years younger than her. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but how old was Tag when Rachel broke up with him? Round 5, question 4. Who did Monica share her first kiss with? Yeah, this is a bit of a weird one, this one, but yes, round 5, question 4. Who did Monica share her first kiss with? So that's round 5, question number 4. Round 5, question 5. Why did Joey break up from Katie? So what was the reason? Why did Joey break up from Katie? Or break up with Katie? Round 5, question 5. And your final question of tonight is actually this is one you have to kind of sit and work out. But round 5, question 6. Out of the 6 main characters of Friends, how many divorces have the friends shared between them? Okay? So try to work it out. Try to work out each character. Have they been married? So when did they get divorced? Who did they get divorced from? What were the circumstances behind that? I'll let you work that one out. It's a little bit tricky one, but if you sit and kind of focus on it, you'll work it out, right? So which characters did get married, which didn't? You can eliminate them. And we know for a fact one of the characters gets divorced pretty much from the get-go and the start of the entire show. But yeah, work out how many times these characters go through this whole process, okay? And add them up cumulatively, okay? So if, say, Chandler is like 3 times, Rachel is like, I don't know, 8. I don't know, she's not like Liz Taylor. Anyway, do you know what I'm saying? Add them up, and that is the answer. It's a tricky one, but yes, it will require some knowledge of the show, like some in-depth knowledge of the show. Round 5, that's round 5, question 6. And we'll do a quick roundup there of the relationships one. So who was Monica's date to Barry and Mindy's wedding? Number 2, Ross and Rachel broke up after Ross slept with the girl from the copy place. What was her name? 3, how old was Tag when Rachel broke up with him? 4, who did Monica share her first kiss with? 5, why did Joey break up from Katie? And 6, how many divorces have the friends shared between them? Yes, they're keeping the lawyers in New York very, very busy. Anyway, quick, we'll do some more shout-outs, get them out of the way here. So Debbie, Debbie wants a shout out to Dale in sunny Bexhill in Sussex. Shout out to Manny in Graz in Austria. Big hello to those guys. They're still playing, and he's celebrating his 29th birthday tonight. So happy birthday. Tarantino quiz maybe? Yes, we'll probably squeeze in a Tarantino round in the movie one. Haven't sussed that one out yet. Lindsay Andrews wants a shout out to her hubby Scott in Donaghadee. Happy birthday to him. And another happy birthday to Simon Upton Pete. He's 43 years young, and that's from Debbie. Andy, Liz and Ashley are playing in Rochdale. Ashley's getting to stay up late to play this quiz, so fair play to you. Hope you're doing well and hope you're beating your parents. And shout out to Troy from Mike if you're watching. He's probably going to be playing later, but hello to the future. Anyway, here is the next round of Big Nerd Pub Quiz Friends Edition, and it's all about the one with all the trips. So yes, occasionally the Friends cast got out of New York and went on a few adventures outside the city, so here's questions all about that. Round 6, question number 1. Yes, the Friends trip to London was one of the most famous episodes, but in London, which famous businessman makes an appearance as a hat salesman? So round 6, question number 1. Joey had the best time with his camcorder and met a lot of famous people. But who sold him this hat? I think he says to Chandler there, it's either the hat or me. I choose the hat. I always cringe when I see people in London actually wearing those things. For round 6, question 1. So in London, which famous British businessman makes an appearance as a hat salesman? Sticking with Joey, round 6, question 2. Where did Joey travel to for his big break? So yes, remember when Joey thought he was going to make it? He went out west, but where did Joey travel to for his big break? Round 6, question 3. And another one about London. And another question about Joey. But which member of the royal family did Joey meet while sightseeing in London? So round 6, question 3. A lot of Joey questions there. Actually, just out of a matter of interest, has anyone actually watched Joey, the TV show? If so, let me know. I saw a kind of review thing about it, about why it was just so different and terrible and why it just never took off. But yeah, like a lot of the other, like Cheers had a spin-off with Frasier and it did amazingly well. They almost eclipsed Cheers. And sometimes sitcom spin-offs do work, but not this one. But let me know if you've seen it, like, because I'm genuinely curious. Round 6, question 4. In the one with the ski trip, what did Joey spell out in sticks? Another question about Joey. Yes, and I think I remember in this particular episode, they used Phoebe's bra to open up the... they used the underwire in her bra to open up the car, the taxi's, the door. But yes, round 6, question 4. In the one with the ski trip, what did Joey spell out with sticks? Round 6, question 5. Who did Ross and Chandler go on party trips with? Yeah, there's the two guys looking very much of their time. Ross there with his members only jacket. So yes, round 6, question 5. Who did Ross and Chandler go on party trips with? And your final question about trips in Barbados. Round 6, question 6. In Barbados, what game do Monica and Mike get into a heated competition? So that's round 6, question 6. In Barbados, what game did Monica and Mike get into a heated competition? That's round 6, question 6. And there's your round 6 holidays roundup. So, quick recap of those again. In London, which famous British businessman makes an appearance as a hat salesman? 2, where did Joey travel to for his big break? 3, which member of the royal family did Joey meet while sightseeing in London? 4, the one with the ski trip, what did Joey spell out in sticks? 5, who did Ross and Chandler go on party trips with? And it's number 6, in Barbados, what game did Monica and Mike get into a heated competition? Okay, so yeah, apparently they went to London because the show was massively popular on Channel 4, and the producers were like, did it as a kind of a nod to British fans. But funny enough, like, I don't know if you remember this, but if you were growing up in Ireland, RTE actually had the episodes come out before. So if you were like living close to the border and you could pick up RTE, you could actually watch the Friends episodes like a couple of weeks before it actually even came out in Channel 4. So we always thought we had a bit of an edge there, like living really close to pick up those signals. Anyway, don't forget to donate here. We've got the donate links here, and like and subscribe to all the channels. Sure, you know me, you've heard all that before. Quick couple of more shout outs before we move on. The Hamiltons and Carsons are tuning in Aviemore in Scotland, and that's from the Knowles in Aberdeen. Good to hear from you guys. Sean and Shauna are playing in London. A big hello from Ryan Manchester, and a big hello from myself. It's been ages since I've seen you guys, and really glad you're playing the quiz. Really good to see you guys. Massive hello to Ursula from Stephen. She's been dying to play this quiz. And Rachel Helena said on Twitter that she's not playing now, but she is going to play later on because she's at work. So hello into the future. Keep the requests coming in, and I'll try my very best to get them out. Here we go, round 7. Now this is a tricky one. This will require some deep in-depth knowledge of the show. But here we go. Round 7 is the one with the guest stars. So yes, Friends was very, very famous for having some really distinguished guest stars appear in the show. We had the likes of Bruce Willis at one point. We had Ben Stiller was there. Robin Williams and Billy Crystal made an appearance in the Central Perk. But we're looking at some established guest stars on the show. And the round 7 is all going to be about that. So I'm going to show you it. It's going to be one of those put it in order type of questions that I always like to do on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. So here we go. Round 7 is all going to be about this. So from most to least, put the guest stars in order of how many episodes they've appeared in. So we've got a plethora of guest stars there. Starting with the most appearances. So starting from the very top, we've got Mike Haggerty as Mr. Trigger, the Super. We've got Tom Selleck, Magnum P.I. himself, Richard. James Michael Tyler, Gunther. Paul Rudd, Mike. Giovanni Ribisi as Frank Buffet Jr. And Jon Favreau as Pete, the billionaire. So all 6 of those characters have appeared in the show multiple episodes. So I want you to put into order the character who's actually played the most in the show, who's appeared in the most episodes, and you work your way down. So if you think Mike Haggerty, Mr. Trigger, has appeared in the most Friends episode, put him at number 1. If you think Tom Selleck has appeared in the second most, put him at number 2 and work your way down. So it's that simple. Or is it? But sometimes you got to just kind of put your thinking cap on and try to work out, who it is. Who has appeared in the show the most. So yeah, just sit and work it out. Try to work it out. In fact, some of the easiest one actually is probably the most obvious one. So, working from top left there, so Mike Haggerty, who played Mr. Trigger. Mike Haggerty is actually a very, very famous character actor and appears in loads of other stuff. Like, he's one of those guys you kind of go, oh yeah, he's in Wayne's World and loads of other things that I can't think of right now. Tom Selleck, a man who needs very little introduction. That famous Tash, he is more Tash than man. Absolute legend of an actor, and Magnum P.I. of course. But yes, Tom Selleck is the dentist love interest of Monica in the show. James Michael Tyler played Gunther, unrequited love of Rachel there. And he was an extra, funny enough, in the background. And when they asked the extras, does anyone know how to operate a coffee machine? He put his hand up and went, actually, I do. So he ended up getting the role of Gunther, and they developed him over the show. So yeah, Gunther became one of the most iconic Friends characters just by knowing how to make a coffee. Paul Rudd, who appeared in the show later on as a series as Phoebe's boyfriend, later husband. And I love Paul Rudd, don't get me wrong, but I think he was kind of like a bit of a Yoko Ono at the end. I just don't know. They were really trying to shoehorn him in, and I was just like, no. But there was loads of stuff. I think by the end they were, paying them £1 million an episode, and it was like, yeah, they were, trying to squeeze in another character too late. But I love Paul Rudd. If you watch him in I Love You Man, he's very, very funny in that. And 40-Year-Old Virgin, he's one of these, and he hasn't aged. Like that's Paul Rudd like 20 years ago. He hasn't aged. He must be a vampire. Giovanni Ribisi, great comic actor, character actor. He played Frank Buffet Jr., Phoebe's long lost brother. As you know, he carried his twins in a kind of weird way, but yes, we all know how that worked out. And Jon Favreau there, as you know him, the director of Iron Man and Chef and the new Mandalorian. He's awesome. He's a great actor, but also an amazing director. And if you've watched The Mandalorian and you know how much of a Star Wars fan I am, he's really, really made it really well. And obviously his contributions to the Marvel universe, like the guy is super talented. But yes, that's round 7. Take your time, work them out. Gonna leave them up there for a couple more seconds. Mike Haggerty, Tom Selleck, James Michael Tyler, Paul Rudd, Giovanni Ribisi, and Jon Favreau. And then we're gonna move on to the next and final round tonight. Okay, 5 more seconds on that, and we're gonna round up and out. All right, so yeah, like I said, approach that logically. Just all I can say, and you'll definitely pick up a point or two in it. So anyway, this is the penultimate round of Big Nerd Friends Quiz. We're going to see if we can get some more shout-outs towards the end of the show. But like I said, don't forget, if you've enjoyed the quiz, come back. There's going to be tons more on throughout the month. And before we move on to the final round, once you hit submit in the final round, you will get your scores at the very, very end. But do stick about for the answers. Okay, so round 8 is all about the one with the quiz. Oh. So yes, this one is actually getting quite meta in that the actual this is the one where the Joey and Chandler actually play Rachel and Monica for their flat? So all these questions are those questions. So it'll test how well you know the episode. Ross is the invigilator. He's the quizmaster of this one. But yes, these are the questions that they asked in the show. Get ready. Here they go. And remember, this was all for a swanky New York apartment, okay? And we all know how it turned out. But round 8, question 1. How many towel categories does Monica have? Yes, Monica, again, one of those things about, if you look at character development in the show, like Monica started off, okay, she was a bit of a neat freak, but then they just kind of really stretched it out. She was like super OCD. But how many towel categories does Monica have? It's round 8, question number 1. How many towel categories does Monica have? Round 8, question 2 in this very meta round. But what is Joey's favorite food? You've got 4 options. I just love the answer to it. It's just brilliant. Round 8, question 2. What is Joey's favorite food? Round 8, question 3. Kathleen Turner there again. But what is the name of Chandler's father's all-male burlesque show in Las Vegas? Round 8, question 3. So what is the name of Chandler's father's all-male burlesque show in Las Vegas? It's Raining Men. So yeah, round 8, question 3. Moving on, round 8, question 4. What's Rachel's favorite film? Round 8, question 4. What is Rachel's favorite film? Okay, and your penultimate question. We had this one on the quiz a couple of weeks ago. Round 8, question 5. What does Rachel say is Chandler's Bing's job? Penultimate question, like I said before, once I read out the question, the final one, you'll hit your answer, hit submit, you'll get your score, but like I said before, stick about for the answers. Round 8, question 5. What does Rachel say is Chandler Bing's job? Alright, and here's the final question. I thought we'd turn this one on its head. But during most of the show, what is Chandler Bing's actual job? Round 8, question 6. We thought we'd spin this one at you. So round 8, question 6. During most of the show, what is Chandler Bing's actual job? And tell me, I have a friend of mine who, yeah, he tells me every time what he does. And I'm like, oh, something in finance. That's it. Like, he'll tell me exactly what he says, and I just switch off. I just like, nope. He's got a Chandler Bing job. But what is Chandler Bing's actual job? That is the final question. Quick roundup there. So, how many towel categories does Monica have? Number 2, what is Joey's favorite food? 3, what is the name of Chandler's father's all-male burlesque show? What is the name of Rachel's favorite film? What does Rachel say what's Chandler Bing's job? And what is Chandler Bing's job? So let me know how you got on. Yes, use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. Share your photographs on Twitter and on Instagram. Let me know how you got on. I'm actually seeing people now actually getting full marks in this, so well done. Yes, Jared McKinnon, he says, can I get a shout out for Ethan, Rebecca, and Neve, and yourself? Good man, yourself. Can you get a shout out to Karen, Mum Karen, who's playing the quiz with me from Apart? That's from Catherine Dillon. We've got Colm, who's playing in Warren Point. So big shout out to Colm and Amy and Finn. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys done well too. Can give a shout out to Bo and Gran, who are playing for the first time. Think they're going to beat us all. That's for Christopher. Lindsay says she's watched Joey. She says it was bad, but she is a super fan, and she actually watched it in case she missed something. Wow, that's hardcore. And yes, Vicky Locke's telling me she's watched Joey as well. Mary Lewis says you want to be interviewed on the Stuck in Here With You podcast after the show. Yes, I will. And who else? Can we get a shout out to Nikki, who missed her in lockdown, and looking forward to see her again from Tom and Beth. After, I'll see if I can do some more shout outs towards the very, very end of the quiz. Stick about, because we're going to do the answers. Let's see how you did, and let's see where you might have got right and where you might have got wrong. Okay, so round 1, here's the answers to round 1. So David Schwimmer was the only cast member of the Friends to actually direct an episode. Monica, it was number 2 there. She had the very first line in the show. Charlton Heston is the actor who they walk into. Joey goes into the shower, uses a shower. Chandler has the very, very last line of the show. So that's pretty interesting. Chandler has the very, very last line of the program. Colors of your underwear was the odd one out from those 4 options. Pubic hair, pervert parade, and smelly cat. And Central Perk was a bar before it became a cafe. Round 2 answers. The one with all the holidays. The toilet seat covers are the ones they get from Phoebe's dad. The English trifle and shepherd's pie is the recipes that Rachel mixes up. The holiday armadillo, the Hanukkah armadillo, is the creature that Ross makes up for Ben. Chandler gets his toe sliced off by Monica in Thanksgiving 88. Joey rhymes with snowy in Phoebe's song. And a turkey is what Joey sticks on his head. Round 3 answers there. Kathleen Turner was originally called Charles Bing. The hospital janitor is who Ben was named after. Franny was one of Monica and Ross's cousins who didn't want Monica to turn up to the wedding. Monica's parents were celebrating 35 years of marriage. Muriel is Chandler's middle name. And Cookie was the one that punched Chandler in the face. Round 4. So your quotes. How you doing? Obviously Joey. Pivot was Ross. Phoebe, he's her lobster. Monica was 7, 7, 7. We were on a break was Ross. And they didn't know that we know was Phoebe. Next one. Richard. Richard was Monica's date to Barry and Mindy's wedding. Ross and Rachel broke up after Ross slept with Chloe. Tag was 24 years old when Rachel broke up with him. Monica shared her first kiss with Ross. Awkward. Joey broke up from Katie because she kept punching him. And between them, all the friends have had 5 divorces. So Ross was 3 times. He's 3 times divorced. Rachel got divorced from Ross after their one-night stand in Las Vegas, and Phoebe mentioned that she was married before and was also divorced. Round 6 was your travel one. Richard Branson was the famous British businessman. Joey went out to Las Vegas for his big break. The Duchess of York was the royal family member that Joey met. Pleh was what Joey spelled out on the road with Styx. Gandalf was the guy who went on party trips with Ross and Chandler. And Ping Pong was the game that Barbados, that Monica and Mike got into a heated competition in Barbados. Now here's the answers to the guest stars. Gunther has appeared in Friends 151 times, with Paul Rudd right there at 18, Tom Selleck at 10, Giovanni Ribisi at 9, so that's a tricky one, that. John Favreau at 6, and Mike Haggerty's only actually appeared in Friends 5 times. Round 8, Monica. So we all know these ones. This was the famous quiz episode. Monica has 11 towel categories. Joey's favourite food is sandwiches. The name of Chandler's father is Viva Las Vegas. Rachel's favourite film is Weekend at Bernie's. Chandler's job, or what Rachel thought Chandler's job, was a transponder. And Chandler's actual job is an executive in statistical analysis and data reconfiguration. So that was the Friends quiz. I really hope you all enjoyed that. Like I said, this was probably the most requested quiz after Harry Potter. So yeah, this was begged for, and the Disney one as well. So the Harry Potter, Disney one, and the Friends one. A massive thank you to Neil and Steph for writing the quiz and taking the time to put their heads together to make this happen tonight. Without them, wouldn't have been able to do it. So thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to do these, like I said. And there's your lineup for next. You've got the Wednesday music quiz. That's going to be a really good one. It's one for all music fans. That's on the 10th of June at 8 p.m. on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz website. And the rest of the June lineup there. Keep an eye on all the different social media channels, and you'll get all your different links to all the different quizzes which are coming up. And keep all the suggestions and feedback coming in. Love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to tune in to my radio breakfast show tomorrow. It's only just a brand new station. My buddy Alan set it up and he roped me in to do it. So I said, sure. But yeah, don't forget to tune into that. It's actually really, really good. There's some really, really fantastic shows in that. And like I said, yes, thanks so much for taking the time to tune in. And yep, we're back again for the kids quiz tomorrow. So if you know any kids and they need something vaguely educational to do for an hour every Tuesday, to let me know. And there is the Big Nerd Pub Quiz on the general knowledge one on the Saturdays too. So thanks once again for playing. I've been Mark, and we'll see you again next time on Wednesday for the Big Nerd Music Quiz. There's all the links for all the different social medias again. Thanks so much for playing. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Have a really great rest of your week, and we'll see you again all soon shortly. Take care.